Hi everyone. So today I want to talk about soulmates and twin flames. I think there's a lot of information out there, a lot of articles, a lot of movies, music that talk about those things, and I want to kind of cover some of the beliefs and myths surrounding soulmates and twin flames. So I did do a deep meditation with my guide today to make sure that I was conveying the most accurate, most loving, compassionate information for you all. I have with me today a white feather and rose quartz. Rose quartz is great for unconditional love, forgiveness, and compassion. So perfect crystal to work with in this conversation today. So infusing this video with lots of positive energy. So let's start with soulmates. What is a soulmate? Are they real? Do you have one? Most souls have a soulmate. We have a number of souls in our primary soul group that we work with, anywhere from 3 to 15 souls in each group, and they can reincarnate with us in the form of a parent, a sibling, a best friend, boss, spouse, or child. So it's kind of like role playing in each life. It depends on the lessons that we want to learn in each life, and those souls might rotate into different positions in our life to help teach us lessons, and we help teach them, vice versa. So a soulmate, most souls have a primary soulmate, as I mentioned, and a primary soulmate in most cases and most lifetimes incarnate as a romantic partner. They are kind of your primary partner. They're the ones that you work through your major life lessons with. Why? Because romantic love is often the most powerful and most challenging of all relationships. So naturally, a lot of the major life lessons that each soul will learn in each incarnation will be through romantic partners and a primary soulmate in particular. So most souls have a primary soulmate. Those that don't are souls that choose not to work with the same person or the same soul over and over. Again, that's rare. There are advanced souls that have reincarnated many, many more times, and they're in an advanced stage of their development. Advanced souls often choose to work alone in their incarnations. It doesn't mean they don't have souls that they're close or intimate with. Of course, they do. It has nothing to do with that. All souls have intimate connections with souls in the afterlife. It's just that they choose to work alone. Not always, but occasionally choose to work alone. So, therefore, most of us have a primary soulmate. Yes, the answer is yes, you do have one, most likely, unless you're an advanced soul. And if you are, you probably wouldn't be watching this video to begin with. So, what a soulmate isn't. A soulmate is not necessarily someone that you meet. There's fireworks, everything is perfect. You know you're supposed to spend the rest of your life together, and you do spend the rest of your life together, and that person completes you. That is unfortunately the doing of Disney movies, of lots of Hollywood movies, and it's sad. It affected me as well growing up watching all of that stuff, and I've learned over the years how to modify my knowledge surrounding that. So sometimes it is. Sometimes you'll meet a primary soulmate and you'll just know them. Anytime you meet a primary soulmate, there will be an instant like familiarity because you've known that person and you've incarnated with them over many, many, many years. It doesn't always mean it'll be perfect and beautiful and bubbly. It doesn't mean that you'll be together forever. Sometimes a primary soulmate relationship can end in divorce. Sometimes it can just be a significant relationship that only lasts a few years. Just because someone is your primary soulmate does not mean you'll spend the rest of your lives together. Again, it depends on what your soul plan was going into this life, and that is something that you chose and created with your soulmate and soul group and your spirit guides. So, everyone has a primary soulmate. And for those of you that are feeling sad that maybe you already met your primary soulmate and that relationship is over or ended in divorce, or you're not sure if you'll meet them, I know it can feel lonely wondering if you have one or when you'll meet them, or if someone you already loved was your soulmate and that relationship is over. Loneliness, I think, is the primary fear driver for many people. So I want to say that the nature of divine love, God's love. So let me start a little further back. So God is energy. Everything in the universe is made up of energy. This is made up of energy. This is made up of energy. This table is made up of energy. Everything is made up of energy. And that is God. God is in everything. There is nothing that can exist that he did not create or is not a part of. So everything is made up of energy. Everything is of God. And the nature of the energy, of divine energy, is love. So energy is love, energy is God, God is love, and love is everywhere and in all things. So the important thing to know about soulmates, and as souls in the afterlife, we have this knowing. So we all know this on a deep level. So what I'm saying is not new to you. You just may not remember it because you're in the human body at the present moment. So the human body, we are animals, we are mammals, and as such, as mammals, we have a primal need for affection, physical contact, community, right? That is the nature of mammals. We need community and affection and physical contact more than many other categories of animals, right? So that's the very basic human need. There's nothing wrong with craving companionship. What does tend to trap people often is the belief in a special love, and that is something that I have been guilty of. So here's the thing. We all have primary soulmates. A primary soulmate and the love you feel between a primary soulmate is not special. So there is no special love. All love in the universe, all love between souls is divine, profound, perfect love. There are no different levels of lovability, okay? Every being is divine love. So there is no special love, and that is very important. The love you might feel on a soul level towards a family member, towards a spouse, or towards a stranger through your human perception might feel different, but in ultimate reality, it isn't. So I should say that because if you're feeling lonely, you recognize that divine love is everywhere, in everyone, and in all things, and can be tapped into at all times. Now, what is different about primary soulmates is that there is familiarity. So it's not a special love in that you can feel more full or whole with that person. That is a false belief. You are already completely whole, and you will never be anything other than completely whole, despite how you might feel in your body. You are whole and complete and perfect, and that is your divine reality. So that is an illusion that anyone outside of you, especially a romantic partner, can make you feel whole or can make you feel special, or that your love for them might be special, because it isn't. All love is special. But familiarity is the basis of a primary soulmate relationship. There is a close familiarity, a close intimacy, a close knowing of each other, because your souls have incarnated over so many lives and in close proximity. So you have a deeper knowing of each other, your life path, your soul path, and the lessons that you have learned and desire to learn. So in that sense, the relationship is more familiar and maybe more profound in terms of your experience, but it is not more special, and that person will not complete you. So that is important. If you want to feel profound soulmate love, recognize that you already have it. It's already within you, the fountain, the source of that. And it's also outside of you in that you can perceive it in all things. So the other thing to mention is there's nothing that is outside of you that is separate from you. That is also the ego human illusion, right? Everything that you feel and know on the inside is what's projected onto the outside, onto your experience. So knowing that there is profound divine love outside of you is simply recognizing that it's already within you. You are simply acknowledging it through your vision, but it's already within you. So if you want to feel profound love, you can see it in the sunrise. You can feel it with the smile of a stranger, when you hug someone you care about, a friend, your pet. It's everywhere. And surrendering to the present moment is the most beautiful way that you can tap into that God energy, that pure love energy. So you don't need someone else to complete you. You don't need a soulmate to feel happy. You may encounter those things if it's part of your soul plan. We all will encounter our soulmate at some point in our lives, but don't get hung up on I have to find my soulmate so I can spend the rest of my life with them so I can be happy, because it is a trap. It is a trap. And if you do have a soulmate and you are already separated from them, know that at any point in time you can meditate and channel them through your higher self and commune with them and converse with them and love them through your higher self, through the spirit world, because a part of our energy remains in the spirit world when we incarnate. So at any point in time, you can meditate, go to the higher realm and meet with your soul group and share love with them. So just because a relationship didn't work out doesn't mean you have to stop loving them. Just because someone you love died doesn't mean you have to stop loving them. Just tap into that energy and commune with them once more and recognize that they are still alive and well and love you, and you can love each other. So, twin flames. Twin flames are not one soul split into two bodies. It is a romantic notion originated by Plato, but it is not true. Souls can split themselves. Obviously, one part of you remains in the afterlife. You can also split into more than one body in the same lifetime to learn or to accelerate your learning. It is very rare that souls do that, but it is possible. But those souls do not do that with the intention of meeting up with their other self in order to have a romantic relationship. That is very narcissistic. And you don't learn the best that way. You won't learn the fastest by meeting another version of yourself, right? Because you have the same tendencies, the same problems. The soul is still the same. We learn best through other souls. So I'm going to have a drink of water. One moment. So a twin flame is not your soul split in two and you're just reuniting with them. A twin flame is also not a soul that is born at the same time, just like human twins, and then you find each other again or find each other towards the end of your evolution. Most souls, when they are born, incarnate, not alone, but incarnate independent for their first few lives until their skill set is known, until their desires are known, and then they are paired in their soul group with like-minded souls that have similar goals, similar tendencies, right? So to have a twin soul in that sense doesn't even make sense either. A twin flame is simply a primary soulmate with a unique soul contract. So every life we incarnate with our primary soulmate, we have a soul contract. Sometimes that primary soulmate may incarnate as our sibling. They may incarnate as a best friend. Again, it's more common that primary soulmates will incarnate as a romantic partner, but not always. It could be that in a certain life we have certain lessons we need to learn and we need to learn them separate, or we need to learn them in a safer relationship than the sometimes turbulent romantic ones. So you'll always reincarnate with your primary soulmate. But twin flames are simply a primary soulmate with a unique soul contract with the intention of accelerating each other's growth, right? That is how you get the sensation of perfect mirroring, of triggering your shadow self, of the separation and then reunion stages. It is because it is such a profound connection, your primary soulmate, that they can accelerate your growth faster than anyone else because you know them on a deep level and you love them on a deep level. Sometimes twin flames will reunite and then spend the rest of their lives together. It depends on their soul's journey in that life. Sometimes they will not reunite. In my case, I met my twin flame last year. In my case, in this life, I am learning how to not depend on others for my happiness. I am learning to cultivate self-love. I am learning how to be independent, how to feel loved without finding an external source for it. And there are many, many souls in this life that are working on that same project or life lesson, if you will. So for some of us, our twin flame contract is to remain in separation because we have to learn independence and self-love. That doesn't mean we're destined to be alone. It simply means that we need some time on our own to figure out how to love ourselves, how to feel fulfilled and whole without needing another person to validate that. So that's all a twin flame is. A twin flame is just a primary soulmate that has a unique soul contract for the purpose of accelerating one's growth. Sometimes twin flames may have spiritual life purposes, to serve in some spiritual capacity or to serve as counselors or healers. And so oftentimes they will have twin flame contracts as well because they need to accelerate their growth in order for them to be ready to serve and be in the place that they need to serve. So they have to do their own healing first. So if you're wondering if you have a twin flame, the answer is yes, in a way you have primary soulmates, we all do. Do you have a twin flame contract? And again, that's not the name of it, that's just the name we as humans have given this unique relationship, which is very real. But we all have primary soulmates. Whether or not you have a soul contract that entails that mirroring and acceleration of growth depends on your life plan. So don't spend all of your time pining over twin flames, wondering if you have one. Just focus on loving yourself, feeling love everywhere, knowing that you do have a soulmate. You may have met them already. You may meet them soon. Each soul on a deep level knows what your life plan is. So if you know on a really deep level that you haven't met your soulmate yet, you're probably right. And if you know on a deep level that you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with someone, then there's a good chance that's true, that that's part of your soul contract for this life. So, but don't get hung up on external love, okay? Trust that you do have a soul plan with the members of your soul group, and fate brings those people into your life. Destiny is what you create with what fate has put in front of you. So there are fateful events that will happen. It could be a reunion, it could be a job offer, it could be something that happens in your life that was fated to happen, as in part of your life plan. But nothing is ever fated to last forever. That depends on you. So we create our destiny. So if you have already met your soulmate and it didn't work out, trust that that was maybe the way it was supposed to be. Continue forward. If you want a companion, if you want a life partner, the important thing to recognize is it's not something that's just going to land in your lap. A person might land in your lap if fate brings them to you, but a lifelong relationship isn't just going to land in your lap. That takes work, right? So just with all things, if you dream of having a career of being a singer, you really want to be a professional singer, right? And you apply and you go to auditions, and let's say you get offered several opportunities to sing, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I like this one, or oh, I don't want that one, or oh, I guess I'll kind of work with this one. Then you might wonder why you don't have a career as a professional singer. So lifelong companionship is similar in that you do have to work at it. It's not something that's just going to fall in your lap. If you've had several long relationships that didn't work out, or divorces, then again, don't beat yourself up over that. It could be that was part of your life plan for those things to not work out. But if you want companionship, you can bring that into your life. You can manifest that. You have to focus on it, believe that you can have it, and then put in the work. So choosing the right partner is a lot about knowing yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to respect yourself. That is the only way you will find someone that is compatible for you. Oftentimes we feel insecure, we feel unworthy or unlovable, so we seek outside validation that we are lovable, and we choose someone that maybe makes us feel a certain way but isn't necessarily the right person for us. So how you can avoid that, and again, some of those hiccups are just a part of life. It just is the way it is. I've had many. You can avoid that by loving yourself and respecting yourself, because when you have a deep inner knowing of who you are, what you need to feel joy, and you provide that for yourself, then you will not settle for anyone outside of yourself that offers you lower than that. That lowers your expectations, right? If you treat yourself and love yourself the way you know you deserve to be loved and treated, then you will not even see anybody else on your horizon except for the person that can love you that way. So that is a very important part of finding a compatible partner. You have to be the compatible partner first. Only then will you know how it feels, and only then will you find that person outside of you that can treat you that way. Otherwise, if you're looking for external validation, you'll have more possibly broken relationships, or relationships that just don't feel good, right? So know thyself and love thyself first. Okay, one last thing I wanted to say. So again, at the end of the day, have faith that yes, you do have a soulmate. We all do, most of us, except for the advanced souls. So yes, you do have one, and you are absolutely worthy of divine love. So how can you feel divine, life-altering love? Don't look for someone else outside of you to fulfill that, as I mentioned. Recognize that it is everywhere. When I had my spiritual awakening in 2012, which I will share in a later video, I got to a place of nirvana where I managed to alter my state of being and my frequency so that I could see and feel love everywhere. It was like heaven on earth. Like I was in heaven, but on earth. I could feel it in everything. The way the wind would blow and it would brush my cheek, I could just feel pure divine love everywhere. It is incredible. Everyone is capable of tapping into that. It is simply about changing your frequency, getting to a place of presence, absolute presence, non-judgment. The ego has to take the background, the back seat. But if you meditate for long enough, so one exercise I did, I would meditate in a chair, in an armchair, and I got myself to such a deep state of presence and awareness. And as I said, everything is made up of energy, and the nature of all energy is love, right? God's love. So if you meditate in a chair, what I was able to do was get to a point where I could feel like every particle of this chair surrounding me and embracing me in like a loving embrace. And it sounds crazy because you think, oh, well, it's just a chair. Everything has God energy in it. There is no place or no thing on earth that does not have God energy. So if you can alter your vibration enough and change your mental state enough to where the ego is to the back and the soul is to the front, you can feel pure divine love in everything. So try that chair meditation exercise and see if you can get to that point where you feel it. Feel like you're being embraced by love. So know that kind of love that you want to feel or hope you'll feel in a soulmate relationship, it's already available to you. It's already within you. And as you tap into it, you can see it on the outside. But remember, it's never coming from the outside, it's simply coming from the inside, and it's your perception. So I hope that wasn't too much overwhelming knowledge. I wish you all much love, joy, happiness. Know that it is your divine right and privilege to have those things. And the greatest power you can ever give yourself is to know that you already have it. You already know how to do it. Okay? So wishing you all a blessed rest of your day, and take care.